Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Mataji, how have you been? It's been a while since we spoke.
Yes, Prabhuji. I was also thinking like that actually. Yeah, Prabhuji, we are all good, Prabhuji. Thank
Sometime
you.
we'll connect. Are you well connected to the temple there?
Um, Frankly speaking, no, Prabhuji. Not the temple. Um, we tried to have some association here, but it's not working out much, Prabhuji. So,
How is your sadhana?
yeah, Prabhuji. Because, like, I'm trying every day, whatever I can try, and it's going on, Prabhuji. I'm trying to read the books also and trying to do the chanting also every day regularly.
Chanting how
And
much?
yeah, actually, I'm like 16, Prabhuji, basically, and sometimes I miss, uh, but sometimes I can do it.
Hmm. Maybe we should talk sometime soon.
Yes,
Let me
Prabhuji.
know
Yes,
when.
Prabhuji. Somehow, yeah, Prabhuji.
Hmm? Hmm. Okay. Do I have your WhatsApp number, Mataji?
Yes, but this is the same number, Prabhuji. Actually, WhatsApp, same number. I can message you, Prabhuji, on my WhatsApp number so that you will have it.
Maybe Srisha Mataji can help also to connect to make up.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, I can. I have your number, Prabhuji. I'll message on WhatsApp, Prabhuji. I'll message you on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Maybe we can start now. Hmm. Last week you could not meet for some reasons. ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vajadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Mukham Karoti Vachalam, Pangam Langayate Girim, Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande, Shri Gurun Dinatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram, Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Is my voice audible? Is it clear? Not clear?
Hare
You're
Krishna
audible.
Prabhu, yes, it is clear.
Is there a lot of background sound or is it okay?
It is okay, Prabhuji. No background noise. Thank
Oh,
you.
interesting. Okay, it's only for me. All right. So we are today we will be discussing chapter number 30. Last to last week we saw the birth and the predictions of Maharaj Parikshit by the sages. And now um, the question that that was inquired to Sutta Goswami was tell us about the birth and activities of Maharaj Parikshit. And where Sutta Goswami wants to take us is the time when Parikshit Maharaj was coronated, and then how he was cursed, and how Sukadev Goswami appeared. The last chapter of this canto is the appearance of Sukadev Goswami, and then how the questions asked by Maharaj Parikshit to Sukadev Goswami. That's the end of the first canto. So now after the birth of Maharaj Parikshit, due in between that time is when Dhritarashtra quit home or ended his life, and Vidura's return. So that is covered here. And then again, gradually the next chapter covers about mm, mm, Lord Krishna disappears. And then the next chapter covers about after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the Pandavas renounced. And then comes Parikshit Maharaj took the kingdom, and then how he was cursed, and then how he renounced, and then how Sukadeva Goswami appeared. So this is the basic overall flow of the remaining chapters. There are 19 chapters and we are on 13. So maybe after this 6 more chapters for the end of first canto. So this chapter begins with we saw that before the beginning of Mahabharat war, Mahatma Vidura, he left the battlefield because he was insulted by um, Duryodhana. Vidura, we saw that Vidura told Dhritarashtra that the cause of all your misfortune is your son, and you reject him as a son because he is simply the cause of trouble for the whole dynasty. And Duryodhana was standing there. This also shows that how the exalted devotees of the Lord, they do the right thing, whatever is pleasing to the Lord's purpose, and Lord purpose was to establish dharma, and he wanted to do what the Lord desires. So that, and they are not fearful. We see the pure devotees of the Lord, they are not motivated by fear when they say or do anything. Prahlad Maharaj, honest, he would speak. He did not speak lie, or he did not speak something that is pleasing to Hiranyakashipu out of fear. If we were there, we'll try to escape the suffering and we'll try to be whatever help me to escape suffering, even at the cost of lying or hiding. But we see the pure devotees of the Lord, they are not motivated by those material emotions because they don't exist in them. Rather, they always do the right thing. So Vidura very honestly spoke, this child is the cause of the destruction of entire dynasty. Reject him. You will be happy, dynasty will be happy, give the kingdom to the Pandavas. And Duryodhan, like a serpent, he started hissing, and then he told Vidura that get lost from here. I will allow you to go from this kingdom just with the breath. Although Vidura was his father's age, because we see that Vyasadeva through um, uh, um, three ladies. There was Pandu, there was Dhritarashtra, and there was Vidura. Vidura was the son of a maid servant, like a cousin brother to Dhritarashtra, father's age. But then still he such heavily he chastised, and Vidura took it as the mercy of the Lord. It is very difficult when somebody who is like son of like son's age similar and such heavy chastisement, and then not to say anything and to tolerate, it requires the greatness. Prabhupada says man's Prabhupada says the greatness of a man can be tolerated by one's ability to tolerate the provoking situation. So Vidura left. This is before the Mahabharat war, and then Vidura went to Vrindavan. He went to many holy places. He went to Vrindavan, and there he met Uddhava. Uddhava was coming just after Krishna's departure. Uddhava came to Vrindavan, and he was going to Himalayas, and he went via Vrindavan, and on the bank of Yamuna Uddhava met Vidura, and from there Vidura, in between, or the Mahabharat war was happening, then passing away of Bhishma Dev, then departure of Lord Krishna, entrance of Lord Krishna into Dwarka, departure of Lord Krishna from Hastinapur. All these events were taking place here and there. Vidura, after hearing from Uddhava, then Uddhava told Vidura to go and take guidance and instructions from Maitreya Rishi. Rishi was in Haridwar on the bank of Ganges, and he was doing his meditation. Then Vidura went and humbly submitted before Maitreya and asked many beautiful questions. Those are covered in the third canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Everything that we are discussing, we will see in detail. But then, because it is related to Vidura's return, where Vidura returned from, this is a summary. So, after hearing from Maitreya for many months, this journey moved on. And then Vidura came back. And when Vidura was on his journey, he got the news that Krishna has departed. He got the news that Mahabharat war is over. Got the news Yudhishthira Maharaj is the king. Got the news that he got the news that all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra are dead. So he was aware. So he came back. He came to the palace of Hastinapur. Now Vidura was loved by the Pandavas, Kunti. Everybody loved Vidura. Actually, in one of the verses also says that Vidura was very partial to the Pandavas. And how he was partial, we will discuss more on this when that verse comes. So begins with Vidura made his entrance into the palace. And wherever the news reached, Vidura, Mahatma Vidura has returned. And Vidura, lot of affection for Pandavas, Pandavas, lot of affection for Vidura. They were overwhelmed with affection. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Arjun, Bhim, all of them have that loving relationship. Kunti, they all they all came. They bowed down, touched the feet of Vidura. They had tears in their eyes. Vidura picked them up one by one. Vidura embraced everybody, even the elder Dhritarashtra was also there. Vidura embraced, and he met. I mean, it's a whole kingdom, and everybody knew Vidura. Vidura used to give good counsel to Dhritarashtra and everybody in the kingdom. They would consult Vidura. Whatever was happening, Vidura was always aware. So he was well known anywhere he went. So there is very nice reception. After that, Yudhishthira Maharaj personally escorted Vidura to a royal mm, room in the royal kingdom. And after first, Vidura was sumptuously fed, opulent prasad, and then he was led into the room. Then Vidura took some rest. He went on a pilgrimage. So pilgrimage, we know it's walking, going to various holy places, wherever you find river, taking bath there and coming. And coming from a long walk is very tiring. So first he was sumptuously fed, and on the pilgrimage you eat whatever is offered here and there. It's a pilgrimage. So he came back, he was sumptuously fed, he was given a place to rest. Mm, and then after he got up with decent sleep, then he came into uh, um, the the king's court. He was given the royal seat. Yudhishthir Maharaj sat at his feet with all the Pandavas and Kunti, and then there began the conversation between Yudhishthir and Vidura. Now, this is also interesting that it is said that when somebody comes, we don't just the moment they enter, they sit down and we start asking many, many questions. Although Yudhishthira, they had many questions. Like one of the questions Yudhishthira Maharaj asked is, which all holy places did you visit? How did you maintain yourself when you were in the holy places? And they glorified Vidura. So that thing was done after he was sumptuously fed and after he was offered some rest. And then there was a beautiful conversation. Yudhishthira Maharaj told, um, he said, "Oh, dear uncle Vidura, we have always been affectionately offered protection under your care." And there are many instances Prabhupada mentions in the purport of how Vidura would offer protection to Pandavas. It is said that Vidura was partial to Pandavas, but actually, a pure devotee is not partial. Just a pure devotee has all the qualities of Krishna. Neither a pure devotee is partial, nor um, Krishna is partial. But Krishna and pure devotees, they they apparently they seem to be partial because they follow dharma. So Vidura knew that Pandavas were again and again attempted to be killed. So Vidura knew that this is wrong. So there he went and helped them. Like in one instance, um, Vidura and stay there with the plan that they will burn them with fire. So Vidura went in disguise. Now, Vidura is a well-known personality. He told Maharaj Yudhishthira, Kunti was there, others were there, and Pandavas had their own servant. There were many people, and the news can go from anywhere, any point of time, and especially, it's very risky um, because there are many spies all over the place. So they don't even use direct word. He said, sometimes
Hare
the
Krishna Prabhuji,
weapons may not be.
your voice is breaking. I think it's a lot. I'm not sure from your end or my end, but it's breaking a lot.
It's clear for us, Guruji.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, should I turn off my video?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's breaking, Prabhuji.
Padmavati, what did you said? Actually, your voice was breaking
Yes,
as I was listening. What did you say, Padmavati?
yes, Prabhuji, your voice is breaking.
Breaking to you also. Now I turn off the video. I don't know how this helps. Try connecting through phone if you recommend. But if you think the voice is clear now, then I will continue. Hare Krishna.
Now clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we can continue and see Prabhuji for some time.
Okay, let me know please so I can join through phone. That should be better. Okay. So um, Vidura went in disguise and he met Maharaj Yudhishthira, and there were many others, and there were many spies all over. And that's why every word that Vidura would use, and the environment was very risky, I was mentioning. So everything has to be in a covered way spoken. So Vidura said the weapon may not be made of metal or steel, such elements, but may be dangerous enough to kill the way. So element, the soul is eternal, and the soul cannot be killed by fire, but the fire is sufficient to kill the material bodies. So in that way, and then after speaking, and Kunti Devi could not understand. And Kunti Devi asked Maharaj Yudhishthir that, son, what did he say? And she knew that this is Vidura. What did Vidura say? Yudhishthir Maharaj said, where you are going, this will kill there, and the possible plan, and it seems like there will be an attempt to kill us through fire. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj, he would keep his words. He would no to elders, and because they trusted him, it came to his. He would not say no, but he knew that there is some danger and potentially there. And then they came and were living there, knowing when and what will happen. Then again, one day we again came into the house and discussed with us. The house will be. And then after saying this, he left. And during that few days that they have remaining, then Vidura showed the underground tunnel that he secretly got made. Then they went, they excavated, they found the place, and the moment the house and some scar, they took some bodies and said, "This is the bodies of Pandavas and Kunti," and they died, and they all lamented. And Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan, they fakely lamented in front of everybody, and there was huge. You know, everybody in the kingdom was sad because everybody loved Pandavas, and only Vidura was unaffected because Vidura knew that they have already escaped. So there was all this games were going on, and Vidura was always helping. Um, Now let us see how is my voice.
For me, it is okay, Prabhuji.
It's okay for me,
Okay.
Prabhuji now.
Okay. So in this way, he also Yudhishthira Maharaj said just like the eggs are offered protection by the bird. So what bird does is with the wings, she offers protection to the eggs from environment, from other living entities. Likewise, Yudhishthira Maharaj told Vidura with gratitude that we have all because he supported Dharma. He know Pandavas are right. He know Dhritarashtra, so he would give good counsel to Dhritarashtra, saying, "You are doing wrong. Your son is doing wrong." But they would not listen. Dhritarashtra is also mentioned as neutral. He did not have strong enmity towards Pandavas because the son is the king, then he will be the king. And if Pandavas take the king, then he kind of. So he was very biased and um, kind of undue attachment to his son. And then the Maharaj glorified Vidura that wherever you go, that place itself become Tirtha. First, he said, how did you maintain yourself? Which all holy places you visit? And anyways, wherever you go, that place becomes holy. There is also an instance of interaction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Tadhama Vrindavanam, um, um, Mahaprabhu asked Advaita, Advaita, what are you doing here in Vrindavan? Because Nityananda Prabhu kind of tricked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he brought him to the bank of Ganges, and he told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, This is Yamuna." So Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, we come to Vrindavan," and then he saw Advaita Acharya crossing the boat with undergarments and a sannyas cloth, new cloth for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was um, without eating anything for many days and without changing his clothes. In the same clothes, Mahaprabhu was constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna. So Nityananda Prabhu told Advaita Acharya um, another associate, Chandrasekhar Acharya, that bring Chaitanya, bring all the associates from Mayapur Navadvip to Shantipur to so that everyone can be with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again at the house of Advaita Acharya. So when Advaita Acharya came, Mahaprabhu was thinking this is Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu saw Advaita Acharya. He said, Advaita, what are you doing in Vrindavan? When did you arrive to Vrindavan? Advaita Acharya said, My Lord, wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu got doubt. And then he's like, Oh, what does that mean? Wherever you are, wherever I am, that is Vrindavan. And then Advaita Acharya told Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Welcome to Shantipur in Bengal, and let us take bath in Ganga. And immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was confused, and then he understood. And then he looked at Nityananda Prabhu with such like eyes, like you cheated me, that you tricked me, that kind of eyes. He looked at Nityananda Prabhu. So, wherever it is also said, wherever pure devotees goes, that place is becomes a holy place because the pure devotees consciously carry Krishna in their heart. Now we all carry Krishna in the heart, in our heart, but we are not conscious. Shrimad Bhagavatam says one should keep worshipping the deities of the Lord unless till the point one starts seeing Krishna in the heart of all living entities, which basically means when one becomes Uttamadhikari, when one is on a higher stage of devotion, one can see the Lord in one's heart. Right now, we are only conscious, and we are conscious only when we are reminded, or we are conscious here and there when there is a need, or but most of the time we are not conscious. And most of the time we don't, when we see others, we see others. We don't see Krishna in the heart of all living beings. Um, Highest stage of devotion, Uttamadhikari. And one must keep worshipping the deities till one starts seeing the deities in the heart of all living entities. That's why it is said that a Uttamadhikari sees Krishna everywhere. And a Kanishtadhikari, he sees Krishna only in the deities, but he don't see Krishna in the devotees. And that's why he has more respect for Krishna than for the devotees. Um, so, and then it also, Vishnu Maharaj also said that personalities like you, when they go to holy places, even the holy place becomes purified. Now, generally, when we go to holy place, we become purified. When we go to either Haridwar or Vrindavan or Mayapur, we become purified by those holy places. But the pure devotees of the Lord, like our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada and like Vidura, when they go to holy place, then the holy places are purified by their association. And how is it that? Because whoever goes to a holy place, they leave their karma there, and so they come back purified. But when the pure devotees goes by their constant remembrance of the Lord, by their chanting the names of the Lord, that karma is burnt. And that's why the karma that remains in the holy place is burnt by the association of pure devotees. And there is a beautiful example of that when Nanda Baba he wanted to visit Prayagraj. Nanda Baba said, we are grihasthas and we engage in so many activities and many are materialistic activities. And in order to purify ourselves, we must visit holy places, and that's why we want to go to Prayagraj. And then Krishna said, Baba, what is the need to go to Prayagraj? Prayagraj comes here. Prayagraj is here. Then Nanda Baba told Krishna, Krishna, you keep quiet. You always say the same thing and you never let me go anywhere. Then Kanhaiya said, "All right, Baba. So let's go to Prayagraj. Can I come little bit distance? Can I come little distance with you?" And then Baba said, "All right. For some distance we will go together, and then I will be on my way to Prayagraj." Then Krishna said, "Okay." Then Krishna brought Nand Baba to Pavan Sarovar, and in Pavan Sarovar there was a man in black colored man. And then Nand Baba was very intrigued. Nand Baba thought, "I have never seen such a personality in Vraj. Who is this?" Then he went to the man in black. He said, "Sir, who are you? What are you doing in Vrindavan, in Nandagaon?" And he said, "I am Prayagraj, because people have left their sins onto me. I have come here to take bath in Pavan Sarovar. And by taking bath in Pavan Sarovar, I become purified. So once in a year, I come to purify myself." So that also a proof that whoever visits Prayagraj leaves the sins there. So the holy place also becomes contaminated. When we go to any holy place, we become purified, but the holy place becomes contaminated. And there is another story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagai and Madhai. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai and Madhai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the sins of Jagai and Madhai on himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complexion was originally golden, but he became blackish. Everybody was like astonished. They asked Lord Chaitanya, "Why has your complexion become so dark?" And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Because I have taken the sins of Jagai Madhai. Now you all can free me from the sins by glorifying the holy name of the Lord." And when everybody started glorifying and chanting the names of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Kirtan, gradually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again um, um, resumed his golden complexion. And then it was nullified, but then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says these sins, although they are removed, they still remain, and they will remain in the universe, and they will go to those people who offend the devotees of the Lord. Whoever offend devotees, the sins of Jagai and Madhai will will manifest in their hearts. Um, so in this particular Mahaprabhu made a declaration on importance of respecting devotees of the Lord. So many examples. There is also Mother Ganga when Bhagirath, when he wanted to bring Mother Ganga to purify his ancestors, because his ancestors died. They were burned by the glands of Lord Kapila in the lower planets. And when he went there, he prayed to Lord Kapila, um, "Please show your mercy and tell us how they can be delivered. My ancestors can be delivered." Then Lord Kapila said, "The only way is if you bring the Ganga, and if their asthia, their ashes, are touched by Mother Ganga, then they will be delivered from all sinful reactions." And then after a lot of tapasya and multiple layers of tapasya, when Mother Ganga descended, then Mother Ganga had a concern that if I don't want to go down, because everybody will take bath in me, and they will become pure and I will suffer. And then she was given the promise that, "Don't worry, Mother Ganga, you can go. You won't be contaminated, because when devotees of the Lord come and take bath in you, then they will burn the sins that are flowing in your spiritual waters, and that's how you will be able to maintain your purity." So there are many examples. There are many lectures given on this particular verse, that how the pure devotees of the Lord are um, uh, now there are tirtha. There are many levels of tirtha. Then a pure devotees has the power to make a new tirtha, like Srila Prabhupada made new Vrindavan. And many of our spiritual masters, like His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj, he made Govardhan Eco Village. That is basically Govardhan and Vrindavan, a replica. And it is said that when a pure devotees, when they make a tirtha, those tirthas have the same power as the original Vrindavan. Prabhupada says new Vrindavan is not different from Bhoma, original Vrindavan. So that is one way a pure devotee can make a tirtha permanently, Um, and then there is, and although Srila Prabhupada left, still New Vrindavan remains non-different from Vrindavan. And another tirtha is the association of pure devotees. When we come in pure devotee association, we will it's pure devotee will make that hall, will make the community hall, will make temporarily the whole Vrindavan manifest there. And when pure devotee goes, that energy goes with him, and we are back to our normal state. So pure devotee can permanently manifest, or can temporarily, wherever they go, they manifest tirthas there. And that's why this verse is very, very frequently quoted. um, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani, that whatever tirtha is there, you are the personification of tirtha, and you have come to our home. In that way Yudhishthira Maharaj glorifies. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj very affectionately asked Vidura, how are the Dwarkavasis, uh, who wholeheartedly their life are meant to serve Krishna. Did you go to Dwarka? Did you see them? Are they happy? And Yudhishthira Maharaj, naturally, by this time, Krishna recently departed to Dwarka. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, everybody were feeling that separation from Krishna. So instead of directly asking, how is Krishna? He is asking, please tell us, did you meet any Dwarkavasis? Have you seen or heard whose life are dedicated to serving the lotus feet of Lord Krishna? Are they happy? So in that way, these questions were asked by Maharaj Yudhishthir. Then slowly, Vidura mentioned to all the assembly who were assembled. This is Sadhu Sangha. Then he mentioned about how he went to Vrindavan. He met Uddhava, what all conversation happened. Then he went to Haridwar. He met Maitra Rishi. And then everywhere he went, Vidura described everything, but Vidura did not describe that Krishna has already left the planet. Krishna has disappeared from the earthly planet. Vidura many months actually, so that this also shows. Now Krishna we saw recently, last to last chapter we saw Krishna's enters in Dwarka. After that also many things happened. And then finally, after the whole orchestrating the whole pastime of uh, um, the Yadus were cursed, they went to Prabhas Kshetra, disappearance, and after long time and after a month or two of travel from there, all this time Vidura was not back home. Vidura is with Maitra Muni and having long conversation, visiting many other holy places. And when he came, it's been a long time since Krishna has disappeared. And nobody knows, no news. And we will see the next chapter. Arjuna goes. We will see that and to see how is Krishna, to meet Krishna and to be with Krishna again. And then he comes back with the news that Krishna is no more. So Vidura thought this is not the right time to tell them the news. So he mentioned about everything, but he did not specifically mention anything about the Dwarka Vasis of Krishna. Why? Because all the Dwarka Vasis are dead. And Bhagavatam also said that a compassionate person purposefully sometimes hide unpalatable news in order to not to disturb the minds of others. A compassionate person sometimes he does that. And we will see sometime Vidura is very, very strong. Today in the chapter we will see his interaction with Dhritarashtra, and he was very, very strong. But for Pandavas, he was very, very soft, because he knew that Pandavas are very soft natured, gentle souls, and we don't know how they will take this news. And Vidura thought, Krishna will make his own arrangement of how the news will come to them. I don't have to worry about that. So he just said, and then again, mm, the mm, um, the assembly broke from there. Everybody was very happy. Vidura stayed there for some time, and it is said that the why Vidura came back to Hastinapur. Vidura was so blissful in the visiting holy tirthas. It is described, Bhagavatam Sutta Goswami describes, Vidura was Yamaraj. Vidura was a Mahajan. It is said Vidura has already perfected his devotional service. Still, he went to Maitra Muni asking questions like how to render devotional service, although he himself has perfected devotional service. Vidura is on the same platform, Yamaraj is on the same platform as Sukadev Goswami, as Lord Shiva, as Prahlad Maharaj. They are 12 Mahajans and Bhishma Dev, and Yamaraj is one of them. And it is described, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Bhishma Dev preached. We saw just few chapters back Bhishma Dev instruction to Maharaj Yudhishthira how Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sukadev Goswami preaches, Prahlad Maharaj preaches, but it is said that Vidura has no chance to preach, Yamaraj. And it is said that Prabhupada says there are more people who are violating the Vedic principles than those who are following. So heavenly planets or other personalities, they have some time, but Yamaraj is just too busy punishing people. And sometimes for an ancestor to take an interview with Yamaraj, they have to wait many years. Because one person comes and Yamaraj, he sees their account, what punishment needs to be. Um, Millions of Yamdutas working under Yamaraj, maybe one of the busiest personality on the planet. And he sends them there, another comes. And sometimes our ancestors have to wait for a very long time. It is said that Pitraloka is a waiting planet where they are waiting to see Yamara so that their punishment can be decided. And Vidura is just too busy. And Vidura also, being a devotee of the Lord, he has this desire. He cannot tell to those people because there it's like karma doesn't work, no free will is there, and they just have to be punished for their wrongdoings. And Vidura also sometimes, many times thinks, I also want to go and tell these people who are coming here again and again. I want to go down and tell them, why don't you worship Hari? Why don't you worship Krishna? So Krishna saw that desire in the heart of Yamaraj. This all comes in Bhagavad. Then Krishna orchestrated a pastime where there was a rishi called Manduka Rishi. And Manduk Rishi, he and there is a story where um, where the thief came, and the thief hid somewhere near where Manduka was staying. Then the king, constables, the cops, they came, they found the thief, and they thought that Manduk Rishi is also one of their gang, belong to one of them, and they're all thieves. So they took all the four thieves along with Manduk Rishi, and Manduk Rishi was just surprised that why do I have to suffer in this situation? What wrong did I do that I have to suffer in this way? And then Manduk Rishi, along with others, they were humiliated. The court happened. Manduk Rishi did not say a word. And then the king gave the judgment that you have to be thrown from the rooftop onto the swords, talwar. So there is a like a bed of talwar, or like a room of race upside down swords. And when a person is thrown from a rooftop, his body is just pierced, his whole body is pierced by those swords. And actually, it's a gruesome death. So everybody, because they broke the law, everybody needs to be uh, pushed into the sharp swords to die. And then they throw Manduk Rishi from there. And Manduk Rishi came and he sat down. His body became like iron rock because he was a mystical sage. He has all the mystical powers. His body became like stiff, and not even a single part of the body was pierced. He sat on the sword like a rishi, remembering Hari. And when the king heard the news, the king repented heavily. King understood he is not a thief, he is actually a great sage. I mean, he was dressed like a sage, his beard was like a sage, but he did not say anything because he was just thinking, why this suffering is coming to me? And Manduk Rishi was very accomplished sage. So king begged forgiveness, he freed him, Then he came out. Then Manduk Rishi went to Yamaraj. He asked Yamaraj, why this suffering came to me? You are the one who gives the suffering, orchestrate the suffering in the life of all living entities based on their karma. What wrong did I do in this life or that or next or previous life that I have to go through such humiliation? Nothing happened to him. He was a sage. The kings and others, they're like small living entities in front of the powers of Manduk Rishi. So then Yamaraj said, well, you pierced, when you were small, you pierced the ant with a lance, and that's why the suffering came to you. So Manduk Rishi, when he remembered, Manduk Rishi is a powerful sage. So he understood. He said, well, that time I was less than 5 years old. When anybody is less than 5 years old, karma does not work on them. So how dare you punish me for something that does not count? And Yamaraj was speechless. And generally, Yamaraj never makes a mistake. But this was orchestrated by Krishna's will to fulfill the desire of Yamaraj. Because Yamaraj is just too busy, he cannot reach. So then Manduk Rishi, he cursed Yamaraj that you, I curse you to take birth as a Shudra in the earthly planet for 100 years. And that's how, through Vyasadeva and a Shudra woman, a maid servant, Vidura, Yamaraj appeared as Vidura. And then Bhagavatam Sutta Goswami says, when Yamaraj came here, Aryama took the post of Yamaraj for that 100 years because Yamaraj cannot be not there. Who will give punishment? And it is said that Aryama is one of the Adityas. Adityas are 12 in number. They are demigods. They are born to Kashyap Muni and Aditi. One of them, one of the Aditya is even Indra, born to Aditi. And one of them is Aryama. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna takes the name of Aryama. Krishna says, among Pitas, I am Aryama because he is kind of leader of that planet in a way, and he works under Yamaraj, and very accomplished soul himself and a demigod by birth. So when Yamaraj came here, then Aryama was given the post for 100 years. You take the post of Yamaraj, and he came as Vidur. And Vidura was when he was going, he heard from Maitreya, he heard from Uddhava, and he was also preaching. He was going to all holy places, and the personalities like Vidura, they have no attraction to the kingdom or royal opulence. They are great personalities. So why he has to come back to Hastinapur? And the reason he came to Hastinapur just to preach to his brother Dhritarashtra and his affection towards his brother. Somehow or other, Dhritarashtra was innocent. Vidura knew Dhritarashtra since his childhood. But when the son appeared, Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra became contaminated because of the association and and over attachment in the wrong direction. Dhritarashtra was contaminated. Vidura knew that he's not such a bad man. He was very kind. They spent the whole childhood together. But because of this son, his whole life went into a haywire. His whole life was like ruined. And he wanted to help Dhritarashtra. So just for that reason he came. And we will see now, just one day he met um, um, Yudhishthir Maharaj and others. Now he wanted to spend some personal time with Dhritarashtra. And then now there are two kingly couches in a kingly room, and just two of them were there. Even Gandhari was not there, Sanjay, nobody else was there. And there's an intimate conversation going on. And Vidura, because he has that loving affection for Dhritarashtra, he spoke very heavily to Dhritarashtra. And Vidura told Dhritarashtra, my dear brother, he said, uh, you are born blind. By birth you are blind. Now death is approaching you. The mucus has filled your lungs. Your digestive power has failed. Your eyes are bulging out. Your teeth are breaking down and are already loose. And with all these symptoms, your father is dead, your brother Pandu is dead, your sons Duryodhan is dead, and death in the form of time has almost approached you, and still you are sitting like a like a like a dog. You are sitting like a dog, household dog, eating the food from the hand of Bhim. And specifically, Vidura used the word Bhim because Dhritarashtra hated Bhim like anything. Because Bhima killed all the 100 sons were killed by Bhima. And Dhritarashtra said, Bhim, I am so happy that you are there. When after the Mahabharat war, he met Bhim. Then he said, Bhim, I love you so much, Dhritarashtra. I want to embrace you. But he was very powerful, although he was blind. So Krishna put a caricature who looked like Bhim because he was Andha, Dhritarashtra. He cannot see. So he put like a putla, and he embraced the putla and he crushed the putla. And now Bhima is very, very powerful. 1,000 elephants. He could defeat Jarasandha. No, he could defeat Duryodhan. But still, Dhritarashtra, even in the old age, had that power to crush Bhim. Krishna knew that. Otherwise, who has the power to crush Bhim? And that's why Krishna already, because Krishna knows the is in the heart of every living entity. He knows that desire of all living entity. Dhritarashtra already had this plan. I will embrace Bhim and I will kill him. And that's why Krishna already ordered to prepare a caricature with the width and everything like Bhim. And then everybody was shocked um, by that. And that's why Vidura specifically using the word. Vidura know everything also. So he's telling, like a household dog, you are eating the food served by Bhim. Your 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 old age, everybody has died. And then Vidura said, a dhira or a man with a steady mind or a sober person, he quits his body when the body becomes useless. Indirectly, he is telling that you should give up your body. Your death will come very soon now. It's time. And you may not want to die like this. And the religious principle is take vanaprastha, and then depend only on Lord Hari. And instead of depending only on Lord Hari in this falling age, when the time has come in the form of death, the Supreme Lord has come as death in the form of time. Um, and um, and then he also said, you have lost all the honor, you have lost the kingdom, you have lost everything. There is nothing you have. Still, your urge to live comfortably and eat palatable food is so much that, like a dog, you are eating the food from the hand of him. And that was sufficient motivation because there was already a loving affection. That was sufficient motivation for the trust to immediately get up and quit home. Because he was very offensive, Vidura was little sad that he cannot give him Krishna Prem, Krishna Bhakti, because he didn't have that because he had enmity towards devotees. One Prabhu came. His wife is not a devotee, but his wife has very negative attitude towards devotees. So Prabhu chants 16 rounds, aspiring, very sincere devotee. So you are talking, and he said, Prabhuji, my only desire is my wife becomes a devotee. I told him, Prabhu, your wife will not become a devotee till she give up her negative attitude for devotees. If she is either neutral or positive to devotees, if she hate devotees, Krishna will never reciprocate in her heart. And because Dhritarashtra has such heart, he could only practice Ashtanga Yoga when he left home, and he could not take up Shuddha Bhakti. And that's why Vidura was happy and sad simultaneously. He was happy that at least he can attain liberation by Ashtanga Yoga and realizing Paramatma in his heart. Although he may not understand Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and un unmotivated, uninterrupted service in loving affection to Krishna is the highest goal of life. But Vidura has that. So overnight they spoke. They spoke a lot. And then he said a dhira person is one who is not so attached to his body. His mind is always steady. When he sees that the body has become useless, he simply leaves or quits the body at his own will. And that's what Dhritarashtra did is he performed austerities and he left the body at his own will. And then he said, especially a first class man is one who give up all the family obligations and just depend on Lord Hari. And Dhritarashtra does not have that mind that he can understand that Hari and Krishna are same. Even Brahma was bewildered. He could not understand Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Brahma thought, he has some mystical powers. I want to test how powerful is this boy. Likewise, Dhritarashtra has a similar feeling. But Hari was like, they would say Hari um, as Narayan, as the Supreme Lord. So he said, basically, Hari resides in your heart as Paramatma. Um, a first class man is one who gave up all family obligations, especially at the end of his life, and just depend upon Hari. So clear instruction was given, and Dhritarashtra was inspired. Dhritarashtra did not even tell Gandhari, he did not tell Sanjaya, he did not tell anybody, and he, in the same clothes, right, that renunciation came in the heart of Dhritarashtra by the association of Vidura. By association, renunciation can come. Srila Prabhupada says renunciation can never come because of frustration. Some people think that if I am frustrated with this material life, then I will develop renunciation. That will never happen, Prabhupada says. Prabhupada says this everything in this word is a combination of bhog and tyag. We enjoy and we renounce. When we renounce, then the desire to enjoy come up after some time. Then we again enjoy, and then we are frustrated and disgusted, and then we again renounce, and then we again enjoy, and then we again renounce. And that's what Prahlad Maharaj says as Puna Puna Charvita Charvanana. But your life is like that. Even though it becomes distasteful, one wants to enjoy it again. And the experience is the same, becomes frustrated, one wants to enjoy it again. So there is a particular story between Narad, a conversation between Narad Muni and Daksha. Narad Muni told all the 11,000, first 10,000 and then another 1,000. He convinced all the 11,000 sons of Daksha to take sannyas and human life is meant for self-realization. And the supreme personality of God is the ultimate goal of life, and we are all his part and parcel. And the goal of life is to reinstate in our original position, which is loving service unto him, and the life purpose, life goal should be directed only in that direction and focus only on that aspect if you can. And then they renounced. And Daksha said, they must have gone through all the attachments in life, and they must have developed all these desires to enjoy this material world. And then after once they have enjoyed, then they must have become frustrated, disgusted, and then renunciation would have naturally come. And instead of going to the normal course of life, you just obstructed them and give them renunciation. And um, this is not a Vedic person. You are not a devotee at all. You are a hypocrite. Likewise, Daksha tells to Narad Muni. And there in the purport Prabhupada says, frustration cannot bring renunciation. Otherwise, this verse, Puna Puna Charveta Charvananam, chewing the chewed, will never have been there in Bhagavatam. One cannot become renounced. Renunciation comes by association of devotees, by knowledge, by the practice of devotional service. And because of association of Vidura, the word spoken by Vidura, that was sufficient for him to renounce. There is another example of Ajamil who was very attached to his wife and children and sinful activities, huge baggage of karma, but because of the association of Vishnu Dutas, with determination he could renounce his old life and go to Haridwar by himself and chant the name of Narayan for 13 years and then went to Vaikuntha. And that was possible by the association. Association, he got realization. And with that realization, association, he got determination. And then he could do what he wanted to do. So Dhritarashtra became determined to renounce. And he left the home. And Gandhari, she noticed, hey, in the middle of the night, where is my husband going with Vidur? And then she also followed. she just noticed the walking of her husband, because a chaste wife. Of course, she had also a black cloth on her eye, she cannot see, but she also walked on her own accord. Dhritarashtra did not say, "Hey Gandhari, I'm going, I'm renouncing. What do you think? Let's announce together." There is no conversation. He just left, and Gandhari also just left. She also doesn't know, if my husband rejects me on the way, what will I do? But she was Pativrata. She was very chaste to her husband. She also left. And then, then Yudhishthir Maharaj, morning came. Yudhishthir Maharaj has such great qualities. Yudhishthir Maharaj came in the morning. Every day when he would get up, he would pay his obeisances to Dhritarashtra, to Gandhari. And because Vidura came, he wanted to pay his obeisance to Vidura. Yudhishthir was a king, but he was not proud. Usually, when you become king, then you're like, why do I need to pay obeisances? And anyways, he is the cause of. He has given us so much suffering throughout his life. This such consciousness. Yudhishthir Maharaj doesn't have. Yudhishthir Maharaj does not have any enemy. Yudhishthir Maharaj always consider himself the cause of Mahabharata war. Anything happens, Yudhishthir Maharaj would curse himself. With this, by this chapter, you can get such great realizations about the character of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Maharaj Yudhishthir came and he saw Gandhari is not there, Vidura is not there, Dhritarashtra is not there. He became very morose. He saw Sanjaya crying. He became very sad. He went to Sanjaya. He said, "Where is my uncle Dhritarashtra, and where is my uncle Vidura, who have always given us protection since the death of our father Pandu? Since my father Pandu died, Dhritarashtra and Vidura have always given us protection." Now that line was very, very shocking to me, because Dhritarashtra is the one who always tried to harm and kill all the Pandavas and Kunti. And Yudhishthir Maharaj consciousness, I don't know where this consciousness comes from. Obviously, pure devotion. This is not possible. Yudhishthir Maharaj is telling, my uncles Dhritarashtra and Vidura offered me protection after the death of my and every day he would go and bow down to Gandhari and Dhritarashtra and take this from their feet and put it on his head. And then he said, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "I am so ungrateful." Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "I am so ungrateful." He's telling like that because in the purport Prabhupada mentioned, Yudhishthira Maharaj was thinking, "I am so ungrateful because they have maintained us since our childhood. Dhritarashtra and Gandhari have maintained us. And now, once I became the king, I could not take care of them properly. So I'm so ungrateful." And then Yudhishthira Maharaj says, "I am so offensive." He said, "Is it because of my offenses?" He's asking Sanjaya. Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking, "Is it because of my offenses and the sons of my uncles that they decided to drown themselves in Ganges? What happened to them? Where did they go?" So those verses spoken by Maharaj Yudhishthir was very indigestible to me. And when I was reading those verses, it was like how to understand the consciousness of Maharaj Yudhishthir. And we can understand that even Lord Krishna would bow down to Maharaj Yudhishthir. Whenever Maharaj Yudhishthir will say something, Yudhishthir Maharaj will say something, Krishna would agree. He would tell Krishna, "Krishna, please stay for some more time." And Krishna would say, "All right, I'll stay for some more time." I mean, he's another way to see is he's the son of Yamaraj. I mean, he's the son of Dharmaraj. Through Yamaraj and Kunti came Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir Maharaj doesn't know about Vidura, but he just loves Vidura so much. Very, very interesting. The conversation that is happening, the scene, the personalities involved there. One is Vidura, one is Dhritarashtra. And then Sanjaya is like, फूट के रोना बोलते हैं ना, he is crying like, and he said, these great personalities have cheated me, Sanjaya said. And Prabhupada said, how they have cheated Sanjaya? And Prabhupada said that Dhritarashtra servant was Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra would not do anything without consulting from Sanjaya. And Sanjay is the one who spoke Bhagavad Gita. I mean, who recited the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Um, and here, at this time, Dhritarashtra left home and left his master, a servant, unprotected, and did not even tell Sanjaya. Sanjay was crying, and Sanjay was feeling separation. This is another very interesting that how the love is unconditional. Sanjay told Dhritarashtra, Dharma will win. Wherever there is Arjuna, wherever there is Krishna, Dharma is there, and everything. And this evil Duryodhan, and uh, they will be dead. Sanjay told everything. Sanjay knows. Sanjay is also a pure devotee. He is the disciple of Vyasadeva. He knows the character of Dhritarashtra. He knows the character of Duryodhan, but he is crying. So one is Sanjaya, who is a pure devotee of Krishna. One is Yudhishthir, who is pure devotee of Krishna. They both are discussing on Dhritarashtra, who is one of the worst person on the planet, and they are both crying in his absence. And Dhritarashtra has no concern about what they think. He was filled with anger, he was filled with enmity. Although now, because of the association of Mahatma Vidura, he was relieved from that disease. But this is a direct contrast between a pure devotee and a materialistic person. So another thing Prabhupada says in the purport is if somebody takes to self-realization and then he doesn't say somebody, it's okay to cheat. Like like we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. We see Ramanujacharya took sannyas, and there were many relatives, family members who felt aggrieved, pained, but it was because of the service of the Supreme Lord. There was no reaction, and we see here Prabhupada says there, Sanjaya was cheated. Sanjaya said, "I am cheated by these great personalities." And Prabhupada says it is not wrong for Dhritarashtra to cheat Sanjaya because the purpose of Dhritarashtra, why he did that is because he wanted to go practice Ashtanga Yoga and realize the Lord in his heart. Because his purpose was Lord in his heart, there was there was no cheating. Um, and beautiful purport on that. And then both are crying, both are very sad, both Yudhishthira and Sanjay. And at that point of time, Narad Muni comes. I will take 5 more minutes. In 5 minutes, we will end. We are just almost at the end of the chapter. And Yudhishthira Maharaj and then Narad Muni comes. Narad Muni always comes wherever some teachings needs to be given. Yudhishthira Maharaj saw, and when we see when Vyasadeva was lamenting, Narada came, and when Yudhishthira Maharaj was lamenting, Narad Muni comes. Rishi Maharaj becomes very joyful. He pays his obeisances to Narad Muni, gave him a comfortable kingly seat, washed his feet, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj, after the proper reception, he told Narad Muni, he said, you are the proper captain of the ship who can direct the ship towards the destination. You are the proper captain who can make one reach the destination. Because if there is no captain of a ship, how will the ship reach the destination? We need a captain. And you are the proper captain who can help us reach the destination. So please help us reach the destination. What destination you want? Please, I want to meet Vidur, Dhritarashtra, and Gandhari. I am very miserable in there, in separation from them. You are the captain, means you know everything. Where you are Trikalagya, past, present, future. You know the movements of all living entities, just like the Lord Himself. Vyasadeva also says like that, just like the Lord is aware of everything, you are aware of everything. So please tell me why I'm miserable. And Narad Muni is actually, he knows everything. Just like Sukadev Goswami, he knows everything, past, present, future. And this is also by the mercy of the Lord. Of course, the Lord is the one who knows past, present, future. But by Lord's mercy, his pure devotees, if the Lord reveals, can also know. So Narad Muni knew everything. Who is where is Vidur, where is Dhritarashtra, where is Gandhari, and what is happening in the entire world. He knows everything. Why? Because he has direct connection with Paramatma. Paramatma knows everything. So Narad Muni knows everything. Yudhishthira Maharaj doesn't know. Yudhishthira Maharaj asking Narad Muni, you are the perfect captain, tell us where they are. And Narad Muni, he said, Narad Muni actually chastises Yudhishthir Maharaj. This is another very surprising thing to me, that how can somebody chastise Maharaj Yudhishthir? Maharaj Yudhishthir is a pure devotee of the Lord. Maharaj Yudhishthir. But these are it can just be seen that they are the pastimes of the Lord. That's how we can see. Otherwise, we see Maharaj Yudhishthir doesn't find fault in Dhritarashtra or Gandhari. Maharaj Yudhishthir doesn't want to say lie also. Maharaj Yudhishthir is Dharmaraj. He is a pure devotee of the Lord. And Narad Muni chastises him. Narad Muni says that you should depend only on the Lord. And he says, by the will of the Lord, the living entities comes together, and by the will of the Lord, the living entities separate. Just like in a player set the playthings together and then disperse all the playthings. Just like in a chess, Raja, Rani, Sipahi, Hathi, Ghoda, they all come together and then they all go back into the box. Likewise, by the will of the Lord, everything comes together, everything separates. And it is by the influence of the illusory energy only that you feel it. The feeling of separation is only because of the illusory affection. This affection that you have is illusory, and the lamentation arising from illusory affection is the influence of illusory energy itself. The lamentation is only because of illusory affection. Today I was hearing Yuval Kishore Prabhuji was giving Bhagavatam class. Prabhuji was mentioning, we are ready to sit in the womb of a mother. I mean, um, we don't know when the death will come, but if the death strikes today or tomorrow, then in that case, we are ready to sit in the womb of a mother. And if we are sitting in the womb of a mother, then whatever affection we have for others and whatever affection others have for us has no basis anymore. Why? Because now we are sitting in the womb of a mother, ready for another new affection which are created by the material nature. So, what is the value of our affection now when the soul changes the body? What is the value of all those emotions? Where do they go? Where is the separation? Child next birth, when he's sitting in the womb of a mother, the child has no separation. Everything is gone. But new attachments will come. So whatever was past was an illusory energy. It was an illusion because it actually doesn't exist. The reason it exists is because there is a relationship, and that relationship is also illusory because those relationships are not eternal. Anything which is not eternal is illusory. And because everything in this world is temporary, whatever is the conversation, whatever is the emotions, whatever is the affection, is also illusory because it is based on a relationship which itself is temporary. Everything. So, whatever separation he told Maharaj Yudhishthira, the separation, the lamentation that you are feeling is because of the illusory affection only. And it's like another thing is like first another thing we can also see is Maharaj Yudhishthira is very, very humble. And that's why this is Narad Muni. I was thinking only Narad Muni can speak like that. First, the knowledge is great. And second, the receiver is Maharaj Yudhishthira. I mean, if we are in front of Maharaj Yudhishthira, like, wow. And here Narad Muni is very heavily he is speaking. And um, Narad Muni says, you think you can save? Huh? You think you can save? The person who himself is in the jaws of a serpent, can he protect anyone? So, this is he speaking to Maharaj Yudhishthir, Narad Muni. The person who himself is in the jaws of a serpent, मतलब आपकी आपके जीवन का पता नहीं है. आप कब देह छोड़ोगे, we don't know. When you will leave the body, we don't know. And you think you can give protection to somebody else. Krishna is the only depend upon Hari. Everything is happened by his will. He creates, he maintains, he destroys. You just depend upon Lord Hari. So in this way, I mean, it's a perfect knowledge But then I was thinking, Vyasadev is great. Narad Muni chastised Vyasadeva. Yudhishthira Maharaj is great. Narad Muni chastised Yudhishthira. His disciples are Prahlad Maharaj and others, and Vritrasula. So, what kind of personality is Narad Muni? Wow, Narad Muni is great. He can even chastise Vyasadeva and Maharaj Yudhishthira. So, he must be really a great personality. And finally, he gave a very important instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and that was a main instruction for his appearance. And he said, as long as Lord Krishna remains on this planet, you all can remain. As long as Lord Krishna remains on this planet, you all can remain. In other words, as soon as Krishna leaves, Puri Bistar Bando Niklo yahan se. Just pack up your bags and leave. And that's what happened. The moment, and very interestingly, already Krishna has departed. Narad Muni knows Krishna has, how Krishna has already departed, because Krishna departed when Vidura was on his tour. He heard from Uddhava that Krishna has departed. So Krishna has departed long ago, but Pandavas don't know. No news has come to them because all the Dwarka Vasis also departed. Nobody remained. Nobody is there to bring the news also. Narad Muni also knows Krishna has departed, but it's time for them to also renounce. So he is giving a hint. He is telling, as long as Krishna is there, you all can remain. In other words, when Krishna leaves, you all leave. And that's what they did. Yudhishthira Maharaj remembers his instruction. When Arjuna comes and Arjuna tells Krishna has left us, we will see that next week. How Krishna has, how the conversation between Arjuna and Yudhishthira Maharaj and everything that happened there. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj remembers this instruction of Narad Muni and he also departed. And finally, at the end of the chapter, then Narad Muni, after speaking very, very strongly to Maharaj Yudhishthira, Narad Muni says, now, just because you asked the question, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, and Vidura, they have left for Himalayas. They are on the bank of the Ganges, where the Ganga separated into seven to please the Saptarishis. There is a place in Himalayas where Ganga is divided into seven tributaries, and she did that to please the Saptarishis, so they all have their own river to bathe. So that place is also there. They are staying there. Then Narad Muni, very interesting. See what Narad Muni says. Narad Muni said, fifth day from now, Dhritarashtra will become free from all material affection. He'll become free from three modes. By the process of Ashtanga Yoga, he will merge into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which we know as Brahman realization. And we saw that he cannot get prema because he has negativity. But Vidura was happy, at least he is free from his karma and the sinful reactions he is freed from by that. He will be freed from the three modes, the material affection, material obligations, and he will create fire from his own body, and his body will be turned to ashes, and Gandhari will enter into that funeral fire. Nobody has to set up the fire. From his own body, the fire will be set up. Gandhari will enter and take Sati, and they both will reach the same destination of merging into the Supreme. Vidura simultaneously happy and distressed by what happened, and happy that he got some benefit. Distressed, not full benefit, but at the same time, he lost the association of Dhritarashtra, whom he had a lot of affection for. And after that, Vidura will again go on pilgrimage. So Vidura came only for a few days just to preach to Dhritarashtra, not to enjoy the royal kingdom. Although he had affection for Pandavas, he wanted to travel and preach. He came, he instructed, he left. So very complex chapter, very long chapter also we saw. There is beautiful instruction by Vidura to Dhritarashtra, and then beautiful instruction by Narad Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj. Then we see the great personality of Maharaj Yudhishthir, the greatness of Narad Muni, how Narad Muni knows the past, present, future. Narad Muni is telling fifth day from now, all three, and he is indirectly telling you also, Yudhishthira, don't go there to bring them. Don't interfere in the plan of the Lord. And don't even go to perform the last rites of them, because he will set fire to himself by his own tapasya. And don't worry about Gandhari, she will also set fire to herself by entering into Sati. And don't go for Vidura, because Vidura will also go to holy places. And whatever separation you are feeling is because of illusory affection. And you also follow their path as soon as you receive the news that Krishna has departed from this planet. And with this, the chapter ends. All right. If there are any discussions, any questions, we can take now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Dandavat, madam.
Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, along with Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, I heard that Kunti Mata also left along with them. Isn't
Kunti
it?
Mata leaves with Yudhishthir and the Pandavas and Draupadi. Draupadi, Kunti,
Okay.
and remaining they leaves together.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Later.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat, madam.
Prabhuji, so this Dhritarashtra Maharaja, they merge into Supreme Brahman. Then will they take again birth in this human species, Prabhuji?
Yeah, after a long time of being in Brahman, they, because of the lack of service, they will again come back. And then, if they meet devotee association, then they can go back to Krishna also.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna. Any other
Hare
discussion?
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai
Dandavat.
Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, follow-up question with Padmavati Mataji's question. So, like whenever in Mahabharata, like who were killed by Krishna, those only personalities I thought that got merged into Supreme, like for example Shishupal or something. But in this case, Dhritarashtra never, he never like had any affection for Krishna, right? So how he got merged?
Yeah, Mataji, now those who died, they went to Vaikuntha Lokas. They attained spiritual kingdom. But Dhritarashtra, he could not attain spiritual planets because of his enmity and offenses towards devotees. But by the mercy of Vidura, he could still merge into Brahman. In other words, Sayujya Mukti. But he was freed from the reaction of a sinful life.
So it means like instead of going to Narka or means hell, like to suffer his karma's reactions because of Vidura, he got rid of the. That's only the reason he could attain that liberation.
Sayujya Mukti, Brahman realization. But others attained Vaikuntha planet. Mahabharata says they went to heaven, all of them who died in the battlefield. And Bhagavatam says they all went back home, back to Godhead. Mahabharata says they all went to heaven, where Krishna took the post of Indra because there was no qualified person. So that time, because Krishna took the post of Indra, that also becomes spiritual word. So in that way, both coincide. But that was a higher destination than Dhritarashtra. Even Duryodhana attained the heavenly planets or back to Godhead, basically was with Krishna, but Dhritarashtra could only attain Brahman realization. Those who fought, great benefit to them. They saw Krishna when they left. But here Krishna was not there. So he could attain Brahman realization.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, who were killed on the battle of means the land of Kurukshetra, all attend. Uh, they all attend the supreme or
Yes, Mataji.
similar.
All went back to Godhead, Bhagavatam says.
Means even if they like Narayani Sena, whoever fought by side of
Everybody.
Kauravas, right?
Yes.
Still they got.
All the
But
Kauravas, everybody from the Pandava side, everybody went back to God. Because Krishna is all merciful. Krishna came to establish dharma and he is all merciful. So he sent everybody back to Godhead, and he wanted dharma to be established on this planet. So he kept Yudhishthir Maharaj and others, and then Maharaj Parikshit, bhai, you continue following dharma. Yes. Apparently, he is engaged in inspiring others to kill, but he is giving them the ultimate destination.
and how was the Vidura's end took place?
How Vidura?
How Vidura's end took place?
And she's like, oh, yeah. So that information not much known, but it is safe to assume that after 100 years, he took the post of Yamaraj, and Aryama became his assistant again.
Because at the end, I think only he left, right? Because all these seniors went
Yeah,
already.
I don't think Yamaraj Vidura has to die because only Yamdutas come. Yamduta's master is Vidura, who is Yamaraj. So who will come to take him? He will just go and join his post. He is Yamaraj. So not much is given on that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One more question. Prabhuji, you said now Duryodhana even went to spiritual world. He did. He punished pure devotees, na Prabhuji. He disturbed many times Yudhishthira, Pandavas, and because of association with Bhishma Dev, he got that.
No, Vishwadev never preached to him, apparently, but he did not like. He just has more affection for Pandavas, Bhishma Dev, and even Vidura. But it is said that because he saw Krishna at the time of death,
Okay,
Krishna
okay,
was personally present there.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Actually,
Mataji. Thank you. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, sorry, if I can ask one question, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, बताइए.
प्रभुजी, जैसे हमने सुना कि अ, धृतराष्ट्र जी को जब विदुर जी ने प्रेरणा दिया भक्ति के लिए, भगवान की सेवा के लिए, तो उनका टर्निंग पॉइंट आया. तो आई वाज थिंकिंग प्रभुजी, जैसे हमने कहीं पढ़ा है, आई थिंक मैं श्योर नहीं हूँ, बट कि फ्रस्ट्रेशन मटेरियल लाइफ के प्रति जो है वो इंक्विजिटिव करता है व्यक्ति को कि टर्न करना है. तो बट ऐसा लगा कि फ्रस्ट्रेशन से टर्निंग पॉइंट नहीं आएगा, वो इंस्पिरेशन से आएगा. समथिंग मोर ऑन दैट प्रभुजी.
वो संग से आएगा. Prabhuji, in this material world, everybody is frustrated actually, more or less. How many people are turning towards Krishna? Now, distress can be a factor. Krishna says people can approach me out of distress. But that distress, they are approaching Krishna, that is also they are continuing bhakti from their previous life. And that's why when they are distressed, that inclination is there. Krishna says they are Mahatmas, they are already great souls. That's why they are approaching me, even if they apparently approach me out of distress, inquisitiveness, or out of knowledge, or for wealth, for whatever reason. But actually, Prabhupada says people are just in this material, people are chewing the chewed. They have enjoyed, then after some time they become frustrated, they want to enjoy again, frustrated, enjoy again. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. But it is by the association, by knowledge. See where the renunciation comes from this material life. Bhagavatam says, um, Bhagavatam says, um, 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 basically, I'm trying to remember the verse. Ashu janayati ashu vairagyam jnanam chayadahitukam. Bhagavatam says, those who perform bhakti, they will immediately give rise to vairagya and gyan. So vairagya and gyan are the children of bhakti. Other renunciation is only temporary, Prabhuji, and it will come back again. Does it answer, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's a very thoughtful inspiration. Thank you so much.
And this is from Prabhupada's purport from Daksha pastime. Actually, just yesterday only I was hearing to His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj was mentioning about this pastime of Daksh and how he chastised Narada. And then Maharaj said this, that renunciation comes by association, and the knowledge that is received in association. Just like how he could renounce is because association with Vidura, and how Ajamil could renounce is because of association and the knowledge he heard from Vishnu Dutas.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so we'll end here. If I spoke anything wrong, please forgive me as a humble servant. Thank you all very much for joining. Vanchakalpa tarubhesha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Dhanwad Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you, Mata. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you,
Dhanavad.
Thanks
Prabhuji.
so much,
Pranam.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dhanvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mata. Dhanavad. Pranam.